Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we will take the workbook exercises which are in your workbooks. All you need for the lesson today is your books, the workbook side, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So let's get started with this. In this semester, we have covered or we have taken together 4 units. The first unit was about big changes. The second was about careers. The third was about what will be, and the fourth and the last was about the art of advertising. We have taken many topics through this unit, and today's lesson is going to be only about the workbook side, the exercises at the workbook side. So let's get started on your books, page 82. Here we're having exercise F. Complete the sentences using the simple past. What do I mean when I say simple past? It means verb number 2. The verb in the past, an action happened once in the past, before now. Yesterday, last year, 10 years ago, or any past time expression. So we will read here the sentences that are in the present and we will change the verb from present to past. France uses the euro today. How about France in the 1995? They use the franc for its currency. What is the past of use? Use, the past is actually used. Regular verb. All you need to do is just add an ed and d in this case. Today, my parents have 3 kids. However, in 2009, in the past, they 2 children. Here, we're having the verb have. The past of have is actually had, a regular verb. My country launches a lot of satellites every year. Every year, regularly, launches, sending them to space. How about in the past? Only last year, it 23 satellites. Last year. So, it launched. Notice the ed, present into past. Traffic increases all the time in my city. Every year, it increases again and again. We're having accelerating more and more. How about it 50% last year? Just last year, we're having increased. It increased more and more, 50%. So to form a verb in the past tense, simple past tense, just use the verb number 2, which is usually the ed form of the verb. The following in your workbooks, page 84. Exercise K. Here we're speaking about the introduction of personal computers and computer networks has changed the way people do things at work, at home, and at school. Now I want you to come up with sentences about the changes at work, at school, and also at home. Let's speak about the idea of the introduction of computer network in our houses. Or now we will speak at work. What are the things that we can do today because of the computer and the computer networks? We couldn't do them in the past. However, today we can do them. We can say at work, people can send files without having to move. With one click, I can send a message. With one click, I can send an email. With only one click or without having to walk, and you will handle a file. Now, let's say not physically, you are only sending it by email, text message, or because of the computer. Also, people can communicate through email and have meetings through the video conferencing. This is actually a sentence. So what do we do in here? We are communicating. What is the idea of communicating? Sending messages and receiving messages. It is whether a message that you can hear or a message that you can read. We're having many media, like we're having email. You can send a message through email, through a text, because we're having computers. Or we're having conferences, meeting. I can meet people, not physically, virtually. Video call. You can meet people. Thanks for the computers. How about the introduction of computers, computer networks at home? What are the things that you do at home because of having a computer? If you don't have it, you won't be able to do. What are the things? Because of computers and computer networks, people have access to information on the internet. And this is very important for us. If anyone asks you any question, the first thing that you will do, you will turn on your computer, you start browsing a search engine, make your own search. Keywords, with one click, you can get the information. And this is because we've got computers and computer networks, internet. Also, online television has gained ground. So it's not only the TV, the wired ones. Now you can watch your TV using the internet or on your computer. The idea of gain the ground, it went viral. Everyone is using it. It is popular nowadays because we're having computers and we're having internet. Everyone is using this one, which is the online TV. Also, people call and chat instantly. Now, all you need to do to communicate with a friend or someone who doesn't live at the place where you are, a different city or a different house, with a click, a text, instantly, at the moment. They will receive it at the moment. You will call someone, a video call or an online call, and you will receive the answer instantly, at the moment. Okay. How about the idea of at school? What are the uses of computers and the internet at school? Things that you won't be able to do if you don't have a computer. Traditional class. Speaking about the idea, students can take computer-based tests. Just like the things that you are doing on forms. What do? You are sitting on your computer and take a test. It's not only learning, and you can take a test on a computer. Also, we're having the idea of interactive boards have been introduced in a lot of schools because you're having computers and the touch screen boards. You will find them, the presentations that the teachers will show you. And also the idea students can take online courses. Even at schools, they can show you a video from another school or another teacher, online course. You can take it whether at home or at school. What other ideas can you think about? The idea of the use of the computer and the internet at school, at work, and at home. I guess you can come up with many other ideas. Let's continue in here. On page 85, exercise L. Look at the picture. Have you ever been to this place? Let's look at the picture together. Where is it taken from? This is taken from one Saudi city. What is it? It is actually from Riyadh. This picture shows you Riyadh. Have you ever been to Riyadh? Maybe you will say, I live in Riyadh, or I have been to Riyadh. I visited Riyadh maybe weeks ago, months ago. If you have never been there, just if you haven't, imagine that you went there and answer the questions below. Let's imagine together that you have been to Riyadh. Okay, we have been to Riyadh, and I will ask you these questions. When did you go there? We're having a question with when. So the answer is going to be about time. When have you been? When did you go to Riyadh? We're having a specific time. For me, I went to Riyadh last month. Last month, I was at Riyadh. I have been there. Notice the question is did, and that's why I have used went, the past tense of the verb go. When did you go to Riyadh? I went there. 2. How long did you stay there? The duration of time. For how long? For me, we stayed, my family and I, we stayed there for a week. Notice the did with stay. Here we're having stayed. We stayed there for a week. Stayed. Then, where did you go? The places that you visited. Can you name any place? We will say we went to the malls and to the zoo. So did and go, and here we will say went. Where did you go? I went up to visit relatives. I went to the mall. I went to the movies. You can come up. The most important to use the simple past tense of the verb. Let's continue with the questions. What did you do? Things that you have done, activities. For me, I will say that we had fun, visited friends and relatives. Did, and this is the action. We had fun, we visited relatives and friends. We did certain things. How about you? I went shopping. I watched a movie. What did you see in Riyadh? The things that you saw in Riyadh. I would say I saw lots of skyscrapers, high buildings, high-rise buildings. Did you see? And I saw high-rise buildings or skyscrapers. I saw modernization. I saw many buildings. Also, what words can describe the place? Let's try to describe Riyadh in one or two words. What are the words that we will use? Noun? Verb? No, we will use adjective. To describe a place, a city, we will use adjectives. How can you describe it? For me, I will say, Riyadh is a modern, beautiful city. Any other adjectives that you believe it applies to Riyadh? For me, I believe that Riyadh is a modern city. It is also a beautiful city. Okay, and we can apply the same thing to other cities as well. Let's continue in here, page 85. Question Q. Complete the sentences with the correct simple past or the past progressive tense of the verb. In here, what are we going to do? We're going to follow this. We're having in certain sentences, the connection between them is when. When you are having when in the middle of the sentence or within the sentence, it means that we're going to have two verbs. One of the verbs should be in the simple past tense and the other will be in the past progressive tense. Just like this sentence. Sam was eating at home when the phone rang. Notice past progressive. Past was progressive ing. It is connected with the when, then the simple past. What do we mean with this idea? It means that I'm having a timeline. This thing happened, all the two actions happened in the past, yesterday maybe. I'm having a long action, which is the idea of eating, and a short action, which is ringing. So rang, and here we will have eat. This is the action of eating. He was eating when the phone rang in the middle. Was it like ringing and keeps ringing? No, it rang only once. Long action, ing, progressive. Short action will interrupt, will stop in the middle. Okay, let's continue in here. We will do this exercise, which is Q. Noura sleep when the tsunami flooded the village. Which one is longer? The flooding, the raining, or the sleeping? Suddenly. So Noura was sleeping when the tsunami flooded the village. When she woke up suddenly and found the city flooded. She was sleeping. Next, we hear the news about the space shuttle when it be launched. We will say, we heard once when it was being launched. The launching idea took a very long time and I heard about it in the middle. I heard when it was launched, being launched. The officials not ration food when the first war started. So we're not rationing, it started. They were not dividing the food all the time. At this specific time, they didn't do. So they were not rationing food when the war first started. One more. When Edmund Halley located the comet, what was he doing? He was studying the movement of planets. The whole idea was about the idea of studying. Studying takes a very long time. Then suddenly in the middle, he found the comet. So when Edmund Halley located the comet, what was he doing? He was in the process of studying the movement of the planets. Let's continue with al-Battani here. It's a question, by the way. That's why we will start with the helping verb. So we will say, was al-Battani traveling in Syria when he made his astronomical observations? We're having, was he travel when he noticed? Always the idea of finding and noticing comes as a glance in the middle of something. Also, Sultan ibn Salman ibn Abdulaziz Al Saud represent Arabsat when he fly in Discovery in 1985. So the whole time he was representing from the beginning until the end, and in the middle when he flew in Discovery 1985, representing. Okay, this is about the simple past, and it's the same sentence with past perfect, with the past progressive, because we're having when. Okay, now we're going to go to page 19. Page 19 in your workbooks, exercise B. What are we going to do in here? We're having actually a job application. We will study it together, then we're going to come up with answers for certain questions. You will find it on page 19. Read Tom's application, job application, about the, then answer the questions about him. Let's start reading here. In here, his name is actually Tom Chen. Then we're having address, 810 Piney Lane. Then the address will be in 39348. High school, Robert Morris High School. Important courses, qualifications: computer science for 3 years, math for 4 years. Then let's speak about the languages. Spanish for 3 years, skills, reading, writing, and speaking. French for 2 years, skills, reading and writing. What activities, things that he is interested in? Basketball team for 4 years. Employer, Siao Italian restaurant. He works for them. Experience, what does he do there? Answering phones and serving food. Length of the time in this job, how long he has been doing this job? For 2 years. Just put it in front of you. We will be answering questions based on this job application. It's not actually a CV, just the information. So let's start with the first one in here, because we are going to use the present perfect progressive. Let's go over it one more time. The present perfect simple and progressive. Simple is to answer a question of how many. 1, 2, 3. 1 or 2 applications. It is actually about the number. Not the time, it is the number. Counting stories or these things. However, the progressive is about how long. I'm counting time this time. It is about the time or duration. How long? So, simple, we can say, how many pages have you read? Notice how many have you read. We will use has or have with verb number 3. She has read 30 pages. Notice the number 30. It means it is a number, not time. Then, how long have you been reading that book? Here I'm asking about the time. How long? We're having Hanan has been reading the book for 2 hours. How long for this or that time? Notice has or have been doing. Progressive. Back to Tom Chen, and we will answer these questions. Use the present perfect progressive. Can Tom use computer? We will say yes or no and the length. So yes, he has been using computer for 3 years. Has been doing something, and here is the duration of time. How long? For 3 years. Has he ever had a computer science class? Look in the document. How long? Yes, he has been taking a computer science course for 3 years. Has been taking, and this is the time or duration for 3 years. Does he know more than one language? Yes, actually. He has been speaking Spanish for 3 years. Has been speaking, and this is the time, for 3 years. Let's continue. Can he read French? Go to the languages part. Yes, he has been studying French for 2 years. Has been doing something, and this is the time. Does he play basketball? What about basketball? Yes, actually. He has been playing basketball for 4 years. Has been doing something, and this is the time. Has he ever worked in a restaurant? Look by the very end of the application. Yes, he has been working in a restaurant for 2 years. Has been working, and this is the time, for 2 years. So the question asked us to use the present perfect progressive, has or have been doing. That's why we're coming with the duration of time. Okay, now on page 90, exercise C, now tell us about your skills. Use the present perfect progressive. We will speak about our own selves, speaking about our skills. I will tell you, I have been studying English for 4 years. Have been studying, and we have stated the number of years. I have been working at a bookstore for 1 year. Have been doing for this length. Number 3, I have been playing football for 10 years. Have been playing. And also, I have been skating for 2 months. Have been skating. Notice, speaking about your abilities, your skills, or the things that you can do, you can use the present perfect progressive if you want to state the time, how long. Okay, let's speak about these people. Now let's look at these pictures, and you will write sentences about each. We're having Hamid here. He has been working in this company for 5 years. Let's speak about his skills, things that he likes, things that he is good at. So I can tell here, Hamid has written more than 150 reports. Notice this is a number, it's not time. So has written, present perfect simple. Also, Hamid is good at writing reports. His abilities, good at doing. Also, Hamid is interested in writing. His interests, interested in doing something. After the proposition, we will use the ing. How about his friend here? Ali is interested in becoming a surgeon. What would we say in here? We will say that Ali has been studying for the last 10 years. Time. So, has been doing. Let's continue. Ali is good at working with people. Good at doing. And also, he's interested in helping others. Good at and interested in doing things. One more friend in here. We're having this, who's a flight attendant. Let's speak about her. She will tell us she has been working as a flight attendant for 5 years. So, has been working. This is the length of time. Also, she has traveled to 20 countries. Number, has traveled. So, has and verb number 3. One more, she's interested in meeting new people. Interested in doing. And also, she's good at dealing with different people. Good at and dealing. These are about the interests and actually what you are good at. Let's continue. On page 94, we're having here, you have applied for a teaching position. In an imaginary situation, You want to be a teacher and you are applying for a job. Now, you are preparing for the interview. When you are preparing for the interview, it is always recommended that you are preparing certain questions for yourself. Prepare the answers. What questions you might be asked? Questions like, it could be a question like, how did you find about the job? Did you read about it in a newspaper? Did a friend refer you to us? How did you find out about it? They want to know about your references. Also, why are you applying for it? Why are you interested to be a teacher? Why not a secretary? Why not a doctor or an engineer? Also, what are some of your strengths? I want to know what are the good things about you. I am good at this. I am interested in this. I am so good in this or so good in that. And what are your weaknesses? Things that you have to work on. How do you feel about teaching large classes? Things related much more to the job. How do you feel about teaching annoying students, teenagers? These are certain questions. Always try to prepare yourself for the questions. Have you ever taught teenagers before? Whether they want to know about your experience. Then in here, we're going to look at pictures and answer some questions. We're having here two different jobs. The first one, what do these people do? Let's look at the pictures. The first one is actually an architect or a civil engineer. However, the other one looks like someone who is a researcher or a specialist. How about what are the different things that they need to do every day? We will describe their job. So we will say the civil engineer needs to check blueprints, the maps, just like the one in here, and supervise work at the construction site. However, the researcher needs to make appointments for interviews and search for information on the web. Research, search. Are there any dangers in this job? What do you think? I guess there are some dangers at a civil engineer's job because he needs to spend some time in and around buildings under construction. It could be very dangerous for him. Working outdoors is much more dangerous. Okay, what are the good things about having each kind of job, being this or that? An architect or civil engineer work in and out the office. It is fun. However, we're having for the researcher works in a comfortable surrounding and with other specialists. So it is interesting to be there. What are some words that you can describe each job? Adjectives, I will say, demanding, creative, challenging, rewarding, and crucial. Come up with any suitable adjective. Okay, with this slide, we've got to the end of this semester. I wish you a wonderful future. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for your time and have a good day.